This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on this Tuesday. Not sure why I said Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Sounded very pretentious, and that's not my style.
Are you suspicious of Tuesday?
I don't know. Is there a day to be suspicious of?
I don't think so.
It's kind of lurking around.
Yeah, Tuesday's a weird day. That's our whole show. We're gonna rank the days all the way through. Most suspicious, least suspicious, favorite.
Which day would be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Oh, that's a great question.
Stay
See?
tuned.
Yeah, we can do that. That'll be in the 7 o'clock hour.
It's your Mount Rushmore of days.
That's right, yes. I tell you, I hate leaving 3 off, though. That's going to be tough.
I don't know. Tuesday's out.
Tuesday's out. Mondays suck, too. Mondays, Tuesdays, and probably, I guess, Wednesdays. There. That's the show. Now I got new content. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff to my left, Austin Ward in for Bobby Carpenter, and Bodie Wells on the other side of the imaginary glass there. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. We are sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin. 2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, HD3. Download the show anytime and catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Also on Facebook and Twitter Live. Tell your friends. Big show lineup for you today. Aaron Portzline is going to join us at around, I don't know what time I told him, 7:20. 7:23, the way we usually do things, I would say probably. Anyway, talk about the Jackets. They are on fire. 2 games left before the Olympic break. That'll be fun. Buckeyes are at Maryland in men's basketball, 8:30 on Thursday. Fair to say it's a must-win? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so the women are at Washington Thursday at 9 at Washington on Thursday. The 9th-ranked Buckeyes are there. CBJ at New Jersey tonight. Cavs are at the Clippers on Wednesday. Did you hear about that Cavs-Clippers deal, too, by the way, what's going on?
Tell me about it.
There's reports that they are near. Did you hear about this?
Why? Why would anybody at this point in time want to get into business with James Harden?
Darius Garland for James Harden.
I don't.
Swap.
I thought that they were trying to throw their hat into the ring for Giannis, and if you miss on that and then you decide to go for James Harden, that seems like quite a risky downgrade.
Was that in your quick hitters, Bo? Did I steal something?
No, you're good. Yep.
I didn't even look at that. But yeah, it is not. It's a 36-year-old James Harden who's having a great year. Don't get me wrong,
but he's a loser.
Yes,
I mean, with all due respect, like the guy,
respect, I like to say.
you know,
where's the ring?
Like, where is a? Give me a playoff series in the last decade that you're like, you know what? Hey, man, he's come up short.
Right.
But he balled out in that series. Like, he is a perennial loser in the playoffs. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like I said, with all due respect.
Of course.
And with Cleveland, the East is wide open, and I have no clue why you would want that. I'd rather Garland just be hurt and just sit. Just hang out on the bench and put street clothes on and just hang out there than rather have Harden eat up 30 minutes, never want to shoot,
eat
just
up
pass
the ball.
Yeah, just like I don't get it, man. I don't understand that at all.
He did say, with all due respect. You can say whatever you want after that.
Yes. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know if there's something going on with. Now, he said that Harden sat out the Clippers game last night, and Ty Lue says for personal reasons. He was at his home in Phoenix, which leads me to believe that it's not really personal reasons. Leads me to believe it's probably
trade reasons.
And I don't get it either. I just don't understand it. The Clippers are playing very well lately, and so I don't know why you want to. Granted, getting Garland for Harden I think would be a good deal for the Clippers, but it's like things are going well for them right now. There must be something else beyond the surface that we don't know about.
I think, quite simply, you look at it and the prospective deal. You say, does this make the Cavs a championship contender? And I think we would all agree that the answer is no.
Right.
So what would be the reason for doing so? And the other distractions that come with having James Harden on your roster, I can't understand. You said it best, Tito. Like, why would anybody be trying to get into business with James Harden right now?
Yeah, I don't understand that. It's unless now look, Thursday's the trade deadline, so there's not much time left. Unless this is a precursor to another deal. You mentioned Giannis, so unless there's some kind of other deal lurking that would involve, I don't see why the Bucks would ever want Harden anyway. I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. So.
Why does anybody want James Harden?
Right. I don't think. Yeah. I don't even think Mrs. Harden wants James Harden if he's married. All right, Bodie. Let's. You get the task today. You got to make me smarter. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby
Bodie Wells.
Carpenter.
All right, fellas. Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026, the 34th day of the year. Paul Pierce, right?
Yeah.
The truth.
Just 331 days left in this 2026. We'll
Get
start
your Christmas
all the way,
shopping done.
Yeah, exactly. We'll start all the way back in 1690 because the Massachusetts colony issues the first paper money. Now we really don't even. I couldn't tell you how much cash I have in my wallet, but it's not a lot.
I think I've got $6 in my pocket right now.
Yeah, I mean I couldn't tell you the last time I used cash on anything, to be honest with you.
So don't rob me after the show. I think that's all I've got.
I've got a 20.
There you go.
I
Okay.
win.
So
You guys have to give me all your money now.
1, 2, 3. Oh, I may be rich here. Hang on. These are all singles. No, don't.
Oh,
take
what?
that. No,
Why is that?
Six of them. 6 mashed up singles in my
you
pocket.
go.
You must have been working hard last night.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. That's why I look a little fatigued.
Jumping ahead to 1815, the world's first commercial cheese factory is established over there, I should say, in Switzerland. Then Wisconsin said, we're going to be the home of the cheese.
Taking it.
Hold our cheddar.
Switzerland, step aside.
Cheddar, see? Call that.
Hey,
You like that, right?
Woo, you're on it.
In 1834, Wake Forest University is established in North Carolina. Shout out to Tim Duncan. Right? He went to Wake Forest.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
So
okay.
did CP3.
Yeah. Two of the greats. 1863, Samuel Clemens first uses the pen name Mark Twain in a Virginia City newspaper, the Territorial Enterprise. Never knew that Mark Twain's, that was not his name. I
You didn't
learned
know
that
that? Yeah.
yesterday when I wrote that out.
Okay, what year was it? 1830?
63.
1863.
Why do you think he felt the need
That's
to
what
have
I'm
a
wondering.
pen name? What was he protecting?
Yeah, Samuel. Yeah, what was he hiding?
Yeah, right. I wonder if he had if Samuel Clemens had some bad checks out there floating around and he was worried about getting
Right.
caught. So, I'm Mark Twain.
It wasn't even close either.
No,
it's not
that
like he went like Samuel
Yeah.
and then picked a different last name
Right.
that would flow, roll off the tongue a little bit easier. He went just straight.
No confidence
Just
in his
changed his
ability. That's why
name.
no confidence in his writing ability. He's afraid
Yeah.
someone did it. Who wrote this? Oh, some bozo named Mark Twain.
Too
Thank God it's not me.
Too nervous to put my name on it.
Right.
I'm scared.
In 1870, Congress votes to ratify the 15th Amendment, guaranteeing voting rights to male citizens regardless of race. 1913, Congress votes to ratify the 16th Amendment, authorizing the federal government to impose and collect an income tax.
Great.
Come on.
So I've been all downhill since. In 1942, baseball owners agreed to permit each club to play up to 14 night games per season. Now that's about 2.5 week stretch there, I think. The day the music died, on this date back in 1959, the plane crash that killed Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and then J.P. Richardson. That plane crashed near Clear Lake, Iowa, back 1959. On a regular basis here in Today
Seems
in
like
History.
every couple of weeks we
But,
pop it.
hey,
Yeah.
you know what?
Mention a lot of
Great
stuff in there.
song.
Could have the
Yeah.
same thing. We didn't start the fire with Billy Joel problems. All the different political
Yeah,
references, things like
exactly.
that. You could probably
If you
do it.
make a 25-minute song packed with references
you
to
do.
American history, you're going to come up
You
on
know,
a lot of
quite bit
days.
And you
Stuff
heard
in there.
the Richie Valens thing. I don't know if you guys know much about the plane crash and whatnot, what happened leading into it, but I'm trying to think who it was. It was not Hank Williams Jr. It was somebody else. It might have been Hank Williams or Hank Williams Sr. It was another artist, famous artist. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he and Richie Valens were flipped a coin to see who would get the last seat.
Oof.
And the other guy had to ride the bus because it was freezing. They were
Had
like,
to?
Had to. Well, yeah, well, so they flipped the
Got
coin,
to.
right? And Richie won? Lost? But, yeah, it was. I wish I could think of the name of the guy.
Fateful
come
coin
up.
flip.
Waylon Jennings, thank you in the chat
Alan
there.
Jennings. All right, there we go.
Jermaine Bowles always comes up with the answer. Thank you.
Handful of, about a decade or so later, 1973, Elton John scores his first #1 hit here in the U.S. with Crocodile Rock.
I had the pleasure, misfortune
Right.
of working at an Old Navy one summer.
Oh, and this was.
And I think Crocodile Rock is played every 25 minutes at Old Navy.
Like
to this day, it's a staple of the soundtrack. If you walk in that store, I bet anyone walks into an Old Navy today, the first thing you'll hear is Elton John singing Crocodile Rock.
That's great.
It's like the Yamo Be There in Smart Tech, right?
They only have 4 songs.
Right, yeah.
One is Crocodile Rock.
I remember summer of 2018, I did an internship like covering the Clippers. And so I was at every other home game, which I don't know how many that is, but it felt like a lot. And I can't even remember.
Probably.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. And I can't remember the song off the top of my head. I think it's probably a little bit of PTSD there. But there was a player, it was the catcher. I don't even remember his name. If I saw it or heard it, I'd recognize it. But his walk-up song just hit a point where it's like, I just can't hear the song anymore. Like I didn't even dislike it before. It was fine. And now I'm just like, I cannot stand the song. I absolutely despise it.
That song?
Crocodile Rock. Yeah, that's what I walk up to.
Yeah. It's a little bit more music here. In 1979, they say it's fun to stay here. The Village People, YMCA, peaks at number 2 on the pop singles chart. There you go.
Lead singer married to Felicia Rashad. Yes, the old Cosby's wife on the show, The Cosby Show.
Oh, all right.
Married to her before she married Ahmad Rashad.
I think she was married to Ahmad Rashad.
Apparently the Village People rock and roll lifestyle wasn't her thing.
And then now into this century here, 4 different Super Bowls were played on this date over the last 23, 24 years here. In 2002, we had Super Bowl 36 down there in New Orleans. The Patriots upsetting the St. Louis Rams 20-17 with Tom Brady winning MVP. In 2008, the catch that I think everybody's heard of at least once or twice, if not a million times. Super Bowl 42 out in Glendale, Arizona. The Giants upsetting in a major way the Patriots 17-14. MVP of that one was Eli Manning.
3rd down and 5. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree. Inside the 25 and a timeout taken. Oh, my God.
Joe Buck really underselling it there.
Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player. Harrison trying to knock it down. And Eli, man, I don't know how he got out of there. I thought he was on the ground, and then he came out of the pile and just slings it. And David Tyree went up and somehow was able to make the catch.
How long did it take him to figure out what David Tyree did?
I think it kind of took him a minute listening to the playback there, and then, I think that play is probably, I don't know where it ranks amongst most famous Super Bowl plays, but it's pretty high up there, that's for sure. Probably the greatest Super Bowl upset, too, I would have to imagine.
Yeah. I mean, they always want to talk about the Jets-Colts one.
That's true, yeah.
Super Bowl 3
out of 59, I'd guess it's in the top 3.
Oh, no doubt.
But the Jets-Colts, that was guaranteed.
Man, Joe Namath told you. I don't remember Eli doing that.
That's fair. You're right.
And then 2 more here. In 2013, Super Bowl 47 is played down in New Orleans. The Ravens knocking off the 49ers 34-31. They played so well, the lights went out. MVP Joe Flacco of that game.
Out to the Raiders. Jim Harbaugh, that is. And there's going to be a run back from 9 deep for Jacoby Jones. And look at him go. Jones is past the 50, and he is flying inside the 20. And a kickoff return, 109 yards and a touchdown, an all-time record.
The Harbaugh Bowl there in that one with John coming out on top over Jim.
What's more significant, the Super Bowl MVP or the Pro Bowl nod this year for Joe Flacco?
But I think he's going to have room on the mantle for both.
I think he'll have plenty of room on the mantle for both. You're right, yes.
And then I can remember every Super Bowl back to probably about, I'd say, 06, Bears-Colts, give or take. And this was definitely the most boring Super Bowl I've ever watched. In 2019, the Patriots beat the Rams 13-3 in Super Bowl 53. The sixth Super Bowl title there. The sixth Super Bowl title there for the Pats, as they now go for number 7 on Sunday. And the MVP of that game was Julian Edelman. Because who else were they going to give? I'm surprised, honestly.
Somebody had to score.
Didn't win it.
Yeah.
Some birthdays. Got a couple Hall of Fame quarterbacks here, mostly with the Vikings. Honestly, did not know until yesterday he played with the Giants for a few years in the middle of his run. But Franz Harkington turns 86 years old today, Hall of Fame quarterback there.
He had a lot of the records for a while, like passing yards and things like that. And
he was kind of like a little bit of, I'd say, the first. That kind of like
he was a scrambler and all that, and he was the first like volume
through the ball. Yes, yeah. Hall of Fame quarterback and two-time Super Bowl champion with the Dolphins, Bob Greasy, turns 81 years old today. The 9-time Major League Baseball All-Star, 1975 American League MVP. Fred Lynn turned 74 years old today. Just one of 2 players to win MVP in his rookie season, along with Ichiro Suzuki in 2001. Actor, best known as a voice actor. I was kind of looking through some of his actual real life acting stuff and didn't recognize too much, but definitely recognized his voice. This one, Nathan Lane, turned 70 years old today. Best known for his work as Timon in the original Lion King movie.
Oh, here we go. Now we got this one stuck in our heads.
Fun one to have, though.
First time it's fun.
No worries. What's the motto? Nothing. What's the motto with you?
That's a good one, yes.
Rapper Daddy Yankee turns 50 years old today. Actress Isla Fisher turns the big 50 as well. Probably remember her best for this role right here in Wedding Crashers.
Gloria, please. I'm exhausted. I've had a very long day. I had your sister's boyfriend dry hump me up and down the field all afternoon. My leg's cut and bleeding. I'm not really in the mood for this. Ow!
My father warned me about people like you, Jeremy. And there's another notch on your belt.
It's not like that. What are you talking? It's not like that.
Really? Then what's it like, Jeremy, huh?
Ow! Ow! Wait! And I'd like to play some catch-up on finding out who's inside here, okay?
Jeremy,
Jeremy,
you're amazing.
Oh, God, I think you're amazing.
Oh, my God, don't ever leave me.
Ever.
Good, because I'd find you.
Listen, Father, this chick, she's fit for a straight jacket, but I kind of dig it. Maybe Jeremy's a little messed up, too.
Messed up in the head.
painting was a gift.
I'm taking it with me, Todd. The singer Sean Kingston turns 36 years old today.
Sean Kingston. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal when you say it's over.
Must have been an uplifting song there.
Have you heard that song before?
I've heard it, but
okay.
I'm just saying, the suicidal. Any song that says you make me suicidal.
I would say that's just how much he loves.
I think someone needs to turn him on to a little Hakuna Matata.
You're probably right about that, yes.
It means no worries. And then last birthday here, the 3-time Super Bowl champion with those New England Patriots, running back James White, turns 34 years old today. A couple passings in 1924 at just the age of 67. The 28th president of the United States, Woodrow Wilson, died at the age of 67. And then in 1951, German engineer and automobile pioneer who founded Audi, August Horch, passed away at the age of 82 years old. Holidays and observances. It is National Take a Cruise Day. If it was 2 weeks from now, that'd fit well for Bobby and those who are going on the Buckeye cruise. Not a fun one here, unfortunately, but National Missing Persons Day. It's never,
Why does that need
a fun one.
National
That should
Day
be every
observance?
Hey, hey, listen, guys. Look, I know we're all busy with all of our cases, but today's National Missing Persons Day. So today we're going to look for the missing people.
Please, today, let's get it done, all right?
Tomorrow, get back to your traffic
then
tickets.
Tomorrow. It's whatever. A couple more here. National Women's Physicians Day, and then National Carrot Cake Day, which is absolutely fantastic. Always never tried that as a kid because I'm like, that sounds disgusting.
Carrots, yeah.
First time I tried it, it's like, this is amazing. Why did I not try this sooner?
Why didn't anyone tell me?
It actually doesn't really. Well, I don't even know if carrots are in it or not, but you put enough sugar in it, it tastes amazing. That's what I got for you guys. February 23rd, 2026, or February 3rd, 2026.
Did you pick up your mind?
34th day of the year.
That was a lot of time travel.
331 days left.
Well done, as always.
2026.
Nice job. I cut you off there. I said, well done. I want to make sure I got it in there. TE 2013 says, no Bobby, so Tito, please ask any and all questions that pop into your mind. We don't want that today. There's a lot of
Do you
weird-
not do that normally?
No, which is really, that's what I'm saying. That's a self-awareness thing I'm working on because I have no self-awareness. But like, there's a lot of things though that I think of that if I say, well, well, first of all, it'd be my last day here because but luckily I've got a little bit of a filter this early in the morning, which is good.
How can that be possible? The person who normally sits in this seat doesn't have a filter.
No, he doesn't have a filter. That's fair. Yes,
But like you have the green light to say any of those questions that pop
Fire
in.
away.
yeah, that's.
I mean, when I call in at 7:20 on Wednesdays, it doesn't feel like you've got a filter.
Oh, dude, you have no idea what I want to say to you. You'll find out maybe in the breaks. We'll see. Coming up next, a Buckeye reveals why he is a Buckeye. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence. We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine, and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum. Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried. Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle. For more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at MDA.org today.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Not Bobby and Tito, Bobby and Austin Ward. And one of the things I enjoy among the many things I enjoy about working with Austin Ward is he can do most of the heavy lifting when it comes to Ohio State football talk. I can just kind of say, hey, Austin, how about this? And then I can go get a cup of coffee because he's going to tell you everything that I don't know, which I don't know. Anyway, Chris Henry Jr., article in CBS Sports, talked about what it was like, what he found out that Hartline was taking the South Florida job. He said, I was in shock. I've been committed so long, and Hartline's been recruiting me for the longest. And then he kind of just, for the next 3 days, kind of took a pause on things. And there was a lot of questions about if he would sign in the early signing period. December 3rd is when that started. And apparently after that, Texas and LSU made a big push for him. The most serious threats, according to the article, were Oregon and USC, and NIL figures climbing all the time through that. And then he said that he called Coach Day 2 days later. He immediately picked up. Henry said Coach Day sounded so relieved. And it reminds, when I hear the way it's described, it reminds me of what happened with Jeremiah Smith, right? Did you think there was ever a chance, or do you think the coaching staff thought there was a chance maybe that Henry would not sign?
100%.
Really?
As the dollar figures that were being thrown around were climbing, and you have, a high-powered agent being involved, Ohio State had a number where it was willing to walk away. And, sometimes this came up with the Bo Jackson negotiations. You have that number in mind. You try to stick with that. And then there's the reality that might set in. It's like, okay, well, how are you going to move forward if you don't have this player that you want, whether that's Bo Jackson or Chris Henry Jr.? Where would that money go? And at that time, there's no guarantee that you'd be able to find another Chris Henry Jr. caliber player in the transfer portal in January. Ohio State was also anticipating that it would be playing multiple playoff games, that it may not have an opportunity to evaluate all of those players or get them into the fold by the start of winter workouts, all these other things. And so there was some give and take there. But my understanding is that Ohio State still did not have to ultimately go to the same level that Oregon, Texas, LSU, USC were potentially offering. Now, there's some people that have pushed back on the notion that Texas was actually making that caliber of offer.
Right.
So there's a game of chicken. There's bluffing going on in these negotiations, which is part of the challenge for both sides when you're dealing with the NIL transfer portal back channel market. A lot of the money is not real. Some of it is. And
right.
So Ohio State did, step up to a little bit beyond what it felt comfortable with initially. I'm not saying that Chris Henry Jr. made the choice solely for money, because if that was the case, he probably would be playing in Eugene, Oregon right now. So I think both sides came to a fair arrangement, just like Ohio State did with Bo Jackson. And Chris Henry Jr. had spent, multiple years planning on being at Ohio State, and he did intend on being coached by Brian Hartline, but not Brian Hartline alone was not the deciding factor for Chris Henry Jr. and his recruitment. Ryan Day was there, the chance to play alongside Jeremiah Smith, to be in Columbus, to have Mickey Marotti, the strength program, everything else. Like, all of that was, part of the decision-making process initially for Chris Henry Jr. And I know that was the point that Brian Hartline was on the phone with Chris telling him that. Ryan Day was on the phone with him saying, all these things are still here. It's just your position coach is going to be different, but you're going to have Devin Jordan. Ohio State's going to hire someone really good. Turned out to be Cortez Hankton. Chris Henry made that decision without knowing who it was definitely going to be, because the rest of those factors still won out for him in the end. So, again, it's not a matter of Chris Henry Jr. coming for free, but he still did wind up, I think, taking something of a discount compared to what he could get elsewhere. And you look at the track record of development at wide receiver for Ohio State, it has never been solely about Brian Hartline. And we talk about how illustrious his run was and the string of first-round picks, and maybe he's the greatest wide receiver recruiter in the history of college football, and all that's deserved. But, before Brian Hartline, Zach Smith had a bunch of NFL wide receivers. And before that, you had a bunch of NFL wide receivers in the 2000s for those teams
right.
that were cranking out Anthony Gonzalez and Ted Ginn and Santonio Holmes. And you go back to the 90s, and what did they have then,
right.
Tito?
They had David Boston.
Yeah.
They had Joey Galloway.
Yeah, so this is not just something that started in the last 4 or 5 or 6 years. Ohio State has a history of this. Even when the offense wasn't, built around the passing attack and viewed as one of the more explosive year in and year out offenses in the country, they still had first-round draft picks at wide receiver. So all of that played into this, and Ohio State and Chris Henry Jr. were able to come to an accord, and I know there's a lot of excitement about the last month seeing him around the Woody.
I don't know if you can verify this or not, but what I've heard is that Ohio State is, I don't know if other schools are like this as well, very big on paying you for your not giving you the highest dollar when you first get here, but say, hey, you do this and do right. Next year you'll get this, and next year you'll get this. Like it's more of a scale going up versus where some schools just say, hey, $5 million, just show up on campus.
Yeah, and that's not a smart way of doing business, in my opinion. I think Ohio State has that right. There are exceptions to that rule. Sometimes a player like Chris Henry Jr. or at a position of need, say quarterback, you might have to bend your rules a little bit. But if you do that too frequently, then your entire spending, your salary cap, your internal one, not, again, people hate when I mention a salary cap. That's because the money is not limitless.
Right.
I'm not talking about an NCAA or CSC hard cap. I'm talking about what Ohio State can actually spend on its roster. And if you start spending recklessly up front, well, then you don't have that money in reserve to pay the guys who are actually proven veterans who are starting for you or have spent a year developing and want to stick around. And so in this case, you think about what that would mean to Austin Sareveld or Carson Hinsman or Kenyatta Jackson or guys, Jermaine Matthews, that are putting off the NFL draft. Those are the most difficult players to replace in the transfer portal. There aren't that many of them, and the ones that are entering the portal are going to be pretty expensive. So the retention piece is the most critical. There are plenty of examples on Ohio State's roster of, some backups that were being tampered with, who got some raises, but not as much as they could get elsewhere because Ohio State's saying, well, once you earn that, it's documented, it's proven, and you can ask your teammates or the guys that came before you what their deals were like once they reach that point. Like, the money is real for Ohio State, is the way that I always come back to it. And everything else, I'm not suggesting that everyone else is broke or making promises that they can't keep, but I know that there are many that are, and they're finding out the hard way when they go in the transfer portal that what Ohio State is telling them about its level of investment in the NIL deals and contracts and community involvement as well that exists is very much real. That is, Ohio State puts it in terms of theory versus testimony. They can point to dozens and dozens of contracts, and not just the NFL development piece, but that the money shows up and that the cash is real, the checks are real, they're not bouncing, and other programs have had some issues.
Clemens did, yeah.
Not like, passing those dirty checks before he had to change over to Mark Twain and go into witness protection. That's the piece that they lean their hat on. If Ohio State is making a pledge to you, they're going to stick to their word.
I find that all that fascinating, like how much different it is versus 20 years ago. And like how much these guys have to do behind the scenes. Not just Dave, but because obviously Dave's got to play a big role. The next thing you got to decide how much we need this guy, want this guy, whatever. But all the different moving parts with this, and the contracts, and the payments, and all of that. I mean, back when it was just the bag money, the bag guy, it was a lot easier back then.
The SEC preferred it that way.
Right, yes, they did.
I think we can all see that.
Yes,
the proof is out there above the table now, and when I know that there's the notion, understandably so, about the lack of rules and the wild, wild west nature. But that was the true Wild West when there was nobody tracking it. There were no contracts. There was no documents of any kind.
Right.
And also that was worse for the players because they had no protection. Now, who are you going to go tell?
Right.
Like the police?
Yeah.
The NCAA? This bag man over here offered me $50,000 to come to this SEC school, and he's not paying up. All right. What would you like us to do about that? Shake him down.
Right, yeah, right.
Okay, well, if we do that, you are also ineligible to play by our amateurism rules.
Right.
Oh, okay, great. I mean, so, yes, it is wildly different. I think it's also an improvement without being even close to perfect. We all know that they have to put more guardrails in place. Everyone's favorite word. Collective bargaining is what I say to you, Tito, all the time, over and over and over, and I'll keep saying it until it is finally in place. But it is still we are still in a better space for players, for distribution of talent across college football as a whole. Some of it is not good for Ohio State specifically. When you're losing, guys like Quincy Porter, Aaron Scott, Bryce West, because they're being offered double or triple what Ohio State is willing to pay guys who have not been starters yet for them. That prevents you from stockpiling 4- and 5-star talent down to the 60th and 70th spots on your roster. That part makes it more difficult for Ohio State than it used to be. But they are also able to pay the top of their roster. If you think about the other programs that we're talking about there, Texas, LSU, USC, Oregon competing for Chris Henry Jr., Ohio State was able to get a deal done because all of those figures were out there, and one of them had the rest of the compelling recruiting sales pitch plus the actual money that you knew was going to be paid. That part is good for Ohio State with the best players on their roster. So there's give and take with all of this. It can still be improved, not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that it is perfect or fun for anyone.
Right.
But having the money above the table is better than below.
I wonder if fans, if they're not already, though, will get sick of hearing how the sausage is made.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, it used to just be, oh, yeah, I'm going to root for Ohio State, put the team out there, hope they recruit well, trust the recruiting.
Well, you had 95%, Tito, of the fan base, and they were like me. It's like, well, following the day-to-day recruitment of 16-year-olds, it doesn't really matter. Like, they're not going to be here for 2 years, and then they might not contribute for 2 years after that. When they sign for Ohio State, that's when I'll fully be invested. But, that part is difficult now because every year becomes recruiting. Every year becomes free agency.
Right.
And that's, I think, the part that's got to be the biggest frustration, because 100% of fans are impacted by that. If you don't have any attachment, or that Aaron Scott spent 2 years here, Bryce West 2 years, Mylan Graham 2 years, you're thinking, well, year 3's the jump. And what? I got to know that guy as someone to watch, and now he doesn't even play for Ohio State. Like, that churn, I don't think is good for fans. I know it's not good for the program. It's not good for the coaching staff. That's the part where the contracts need to be in place.
That's when I was a kid, that's when baseball turned. I was a huge baseball fan growing up. And when free agency started, all the contracts got posted, the negotiations, Pete Rose leaving the Reds for the Phillies for more money. Like, when all those things started happening, it turned me off to baseball because I didn't. If I would never have known all of those things, I thought, Rose want to go play for the Phillies, whatever. But I know, wait, Rose is going to the Phillies because they're paying him more money. Or, this guy got traded because he's going to make more money, not just the guys I wanted to see playing for my teams. And so when I learned all of that, when that all first was revealed to me, like the Matrix thing, I took the pill. I think that's right? Took a pill in the Matrix? Okay, it's been a long time since
red or blue.
Okay. I'm not going to make a blue pill joke. But anyway, it'd be too easy. It'd be much harder to do that. But anyway, so when I took that pill, and I remember the Sports Illustrated cover where it showed all these players and what they were making. It was like there were like 50 players, headshots with what their salaries were. And at that point, I was like, oh, this changed. And I wonder if that's doing that for anybody who's a college football fan right now.
I think I hear it a lot. It's hard for me to put a number on that, for how much of the fan base, for how much of college football fans are impacted by that. Because the counter argument to that is that nationally it has spread out the talent. We joked about it 5 years ago. Oh, NIL is supposed to create parity. It's supposed to level the competitive landscape. And it did not do that initially. Now, in this current iteration, when you're talking about Indiana and Texas Tech and Ole Miss, programs that were just a notch below, or even all the notches below, in the case of Indiana, the losingest program in the history of college football, which I'm told went undefeated and won the national championship. I had to Google it to be sure.
Got to prove something to me.
Yeah, still got to do that. But then you see the television ratings and the interest in the college football playoff and the number of fan bases that now have more of a rooting interest and a more competitive team that's actually on the field. I've said this for the last couple weeks, and I said it 5 minutes ago. It's not been as easy for Ohio State, and it's made it more challenging for the powerhouses, Georgia, Alabama, Texas. Ohio State goes directly into that bucket, if not the top. It has made it more difficult for them to do the things that they have always done, but it has also made it somewhat easier for the teams that want to flip their roster and to bring their fan bases in. Like, imagine an Indiana fan 5 years ago, and you told them you're going to spend $4,000 to go to Miami to watch the national championship game. It's like, oh, I didn't know the Final Four was in Miami.
Yes, right.
Like that's not even something that would have ever entered the Hoosiers' thoughts or the Red Raiders or whoever else we want to talk. Arizona State going to the playoff a year ago. All of that stuff has changed the national landscape, and I think for the better. Now you can make it improved, and you can bring some of those fans back by maintaining some sense of normalcy with contracts so that rosters are not being completely overhauled every single year. That's the single biggest part. We're in the midst of that. And so hopefully, just like with baseball, in your example of the start of free agency, Tito, once everything is reined in and everyone understands how the CBA is going to work, and you don't maybe have unlimited transfers and unlimited turnover on your roster every single year, then you bring some of those people back in. But I definitely understand the frustration, because when we're in the midst of it and you show up on the first practice of March and you need to look at that roster, and I'm going to have to see 50 new names. And unfortunately, I'm working on that already.
Right.
I had to cover all the transfer portal activity throughout January. Like, nobody wants to have to buy a program.
Right, yeah.
Like, you don't who's this new guy? Like, I don't know any of their numbers.
Right.
And I think about being a kid watching college football and growing up. It's like, that's the thing. You're going to learn that. You're going to have 4 years to watch that player develop, get to know them, and anything else. I know that part of college football, that's the soul of it, has currently been lost.
Coming up next, do some quick hitters. Morning Juice.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm the Innovation Ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook: read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
My mom is a veteran, and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned, so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Attack and dominate YouTubers. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Tito, Austin Ward. Bodie Wells with you. Bodie, why don't you just help with some quick hitters?
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Tuesday. We'll start here. A little college football / NFL draft, as we are now 79 days away from the 2026 NFL draft taking place in the Steel City in Pittsburgh, as the first round will begin on Thursday night on April 23rd. As we now sit a little more than 11 weeks away from the event, Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network released his first edition, I should say, of the top 50 prospects for this upcoming NFL draft. Let's sort through it here. Top 5 is as followed. He's got Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, national champion, Heisman Trophy winner at number 1. Tito, the Beatles said it best. All you need is love. Jeremiah Love, the running back out of Notre Dame, comes in at number 2. Arvell Reese, the linebacker edge rusher for the Buckeyes, at number 3. David Bailey, Texas Tech edge rusher, coming in at number 4. And then Sonny Styles, the Ohio State linebacker, at number 5. The top 10 is littered with Buckeyes. I just mentioned there you got Reese and Styles in the top 5. Also got Carnell Tate at number 9. Caleb Downs at number 10. One more Buckeye on the list in total to round it out at total with 5 there for Ohio State is Caden McDonald at number 33. Some other news and notes here from the top 50 list. Ty Simpson, the quarterback out of Alabama, is the only other quarterback on the list. He's at number 40, so somebody's going to overdraft him, at least per Daniel Jeremiah. Excuse me. And then I thought this was kind of interesting. So Ohio State has 5 guys on the list. Would you guys want to take a shot in the dark at who also had 5 guys on the list, which was tied for the most?
Another team with 5
players in his top 50, tied with Ohio State for the most.
Tell me it's not Notre Dame.
It's not.
Okay, good. 5 in the top 50.
It's kind of, I'll say the name and you'll be like, oof.
Yeah, because I was trying to get there with Miami, but I don't think that would quite reach the level of 5.
I don't think it would. Texas? No.
Hit us, Bodie. Come on.
Okay. I was going to say they underachieved mightily. I didn't want to keep you guys waiting too long there. But that would be the Clemson Tigers. They had 5 guys on the list. Wow. Some other, teams that had multiple guys on the list. Georgia had 4, Notre Dame 3, A&M had 3, Tennessee had 3, Texas Tech had 2, Oregon had 2. The Miami, the Hurricanes, the U also had 3. So, Tito, not a surprise that Ohio State's, those 4 guys are going probably somewhere in, we'll call it the top 15.
I would say
first
so,
round.
Yeah.
McDonald might slip into the back half of the second round.
Yeah.
If not early second, back half of the first round, I should say, if not early second. And then anything else jump out to you there?
Well, I'll tell you, the thing with what I can't wait to see is the Arvell Reese thing, because of where he was, 18 months ago to now. That's quite the rise.
I mean, even at this time last year, he wasn't guaranteed to be a starter. He was expected to take the next step and play alongside Sonny Styles and replace Cody Simon in the linebacker rotation, but it wasn't guaranteed. And he had spent time, learning defensive end, going back and forth. James Laurinaitis is pounding his fist, saying, "No, this guy's got to be a linebacker." Well, yeah, James was definitely right. He knows what he's talking about, but I don't think, other than Berm, who said Arvell Reese is going to be a higher draft pick than Sonny Styles, and I had to...
He said that last year?
Oh, yeah. And he won't let you forget it. He made that bold prediction heading into spring ball, and that did come to fruition. There weren't a lot of people claiming that. And it was like, well, maybe he could become that down the road. The way that he rocketed into the top, 5 of this upcoming NFL draft, not many people projected that.
And I can't wait, not to get going here with Bodie, I can't wait to see who takes Jeremiah Love. Like which team will...
Because he's not going to, right?
No, he's not going...
He's going to go lower than I think most people would have him projected based off of just best players in the draft.
That is what's important about this list that you gave. It is not a mock draft.
Yeah,
no, it's
just
not a mock
pure
draft,
best players 1 to 50 there.
And not every... It seems like the running back thing, there's... used to be running backs, they'd be numerous ones going in the first round of drafts, and now people are much more cautious about that. And so, but I wonder, and by the way, I don't know if we can do this. I'm sure we can. We need to schedule Bodie in here on draft night and have a camera on him if Love falls, where like if you got Love and like Styles somehow still on the board with the Cowboys pick, and watch them go for some wide receiver out of A&M or something, and watch Bodie just go nuts.
I think I'd pass out.
That does sound like good content.
I think it is good content, right?
Guys, college basketball here. It's been, let's call it what it is, an up and down season so far for the Ohio State men. They sit at 14-7 on the year, 6-5 in conference play. They continue to ride that bubble, man. It's been a few years now where they continue to sit on the bubble. At least they're still on the bubble as we head into February. There was a couple years there where that wasn't even the case.
Right.
They did get some good news on Monday afternoon, though. The 2026 McDonald's All-America teams were revealed. And for the first time since 2014, a Buckeye made the cut. That'd be five-star forward Anthony Thompson. He made the Boys East team. He's the first Buckeye to make the All-American team since D'Angelo Russell did it all the way back, like I mentioned there, in 2014. He is the fourth highest-rated prospect in the modern recruiting era to sign with Ohio State, behind only two guys pretty good, one guy meh. But Greg Oden, Jared Solinger, and then B.J. Mullins, who was a first-round pick, but don't think he lived up to the hype on that one. But Austin...
I mean, still a pretty good career for Jared Solinger, so at least in the college ranks.
Oh, for sure. I meant Mullins.
Oh, okay.
As far
Mullins was sorry. Like the other.
I don't know why Solinger's catching it straight.
They were both great. And both NBA careers, not great. Oden, unfortunately, couldn't stay healthy, but Solly was pretty solid there for a while. B.J. Mullins was kind of a little more.
Sorry. I followed you now.
Yeah.
Mullins played 5 years in the NBA.
Which isn't terrible,
No.
but you land a five-star prospect, you probably hope he's a little more Oden Solinger, a little less B.J. Mullins, with all due respect. But Anthony Thompson, A-Ward. Buckeyes we'll see how they finish this season, obviously, but a very talented freshman on the way for next year at least.
And when you're talking about Ohio State being on the wrong side of the bubble, Bodie, it's not hard to figure out why. If you've gone a decade without someone, a five-star, a McDonald's All-American, I know that's not the only way that you can build a roster that gets to the NCAA tournament, but sure tends to help. There is a lot of correlation that goes on there. And I think part of the appeal when Gene Smith and Ross Bjork were elevating Jake Diebler was that he's got the relationship building. He's going to be a really good recruiter, and some of that has not really borne itself out through these first year and a half with him on the bench. And you think about the lack of help that's been on that Ohio State bench, like that comes from the head coach and building that roster. But there are some encouraging signs heading into next year. I wonder how much this month of February will play into a decision to let him continue to coach them, recruit those type players, because this is going to be a very difficult stretch for the Buckeyes. They're already on the bubble, and it's not going to get easier. So this is a pivotal stretch for Diebler, a pivotal stretch for Ross Bjork, and see if they can get on the right side of the bubble. I'm skeptical as we sit here right now.
Oden made a little over $24 million for his time not playing, which isn't bad. Solinger around $12 million, and B.J. Mullins like $6.8 million. So, nonetheless, Ohio State with this February schedule is brutal. It is brutal, and that game against Wisconsin, they really needed that one. So they got the Maryland game coming up. But yeah, it's good that they got this kid. I love it. I hope he sticks with Ohio State. I hope all that stands, because you never know with NIL what happens. But add him to this team, and granted, losing Bruce Thornton is a huge loss, and they've got some of the pieces they're going to have to replace. But having him come in here with Bynum, and I think it's a good start, and hopefully it will buoy them. Right? Buoy, that's the word, right?
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah. If you didn't pause, that sounded good to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And give them the spark. Go ahead.
Speaking of basketball rosters, the NBA announced the reserves for this year's All-Star game that'll take place here in a couple of weeks out in Los Angeles. And for a 22nd consecutive year, LeBron James is an All-Star after the coaches voted him onto the team. Asked about that honor, James told the media, quote, "I mean, obviously it's super humbling." Obviously.
Yeah, he's always so humble.
Mad respect to the coaches and them seeing how I'm still playing at this later stage of my career. And to be able to be an All-Star, that means a lot to my family, my people that's been following my career, my LeBron faithful that's been following my journey.
The what?
But I've never heard anybody call
LeBron
faithful,
Nation.
but I love it. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's always rewarding just from a humble standpoint to be able to be rewarded for the work that you put in, so it is pretty cool. James, he's the all-time NBA leader in All-Star game appearances, starts, minutes, field goals made and attempted, and total points scored. Tito, I don't know what the hardest record in sports is, the one that'll probably like never be broken.
Right.
You know, DiMaggio's history, Cal Ripken's games played streak, starting streak, stuff like that. But 22 straight All-Star games in the NBA, I honestly don't. It just feels impossible that we could see it again. Granted, humans were only getting bigger, faster, stronger, but just the level of consistent play from James it's ridiculous.
I see the reason I can't see anybody doing it or coming close to it is because I don't think that there's other players out there that have the same drive he has. And these guys are going to make $1 billion in their careers by the time they're like 34. Like, why are they going to want to keep playing? You know, like, why would I want to? Because I know LeBron, from reports, you can tell by looking at him, he puts his body through a lot to get ready to play, every year. You know, I've heard he spends like $1 million a year on just like body management, body work. That sounds weird to say that, but yes. You know, and I don't know if anybody else wants to do all that when you've got $1 billion in the bank.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't think it'll happen.
I don't think LeBron ever gets enough credit for that work ethic and the commitment to staying at the level that you just talked about. Because we can all think back to when LeBron came into the league and the excitement around it and the Chosen One Sports Illustrated cover and all of that, and be like, well, he's genetically gifted with athleticism and traits that few humans have ever had.
Right.
But that can only take you so far. And it can still make you the best player on the planet for 5-10 years. But to continue to do that and still be able to play at the level that he is for 20 years, 15 years, that's the part that's unheard of. And if Michael Jordan is going to get credit for that relentless work ethic, I think at some point you have to give LeBron that as well. And I'm not saying that nobody's doing that, but generally we talk about just how rare he is genetically and not in terms of the work ethic. And that's probably not fair to him.
And that's the part that's for me.
Or LeBron Nation.
Right. Or,
faithful.
Yeah. LeBron Faithful. Yes. They've got tattoos and T-shirts. The LeBron thing, the fact that, and I know the guy's made missteps. I get all that. But since he's been in the league, though, since he came in under that microscope, there's been no drug use allegations, no like domestic violence things. Like the dumbest things he's done, the biggest mistakes he's made is the decision, the way he handled that, and then doing the whole villain thing with Miami. And when he said the one thing about, and I'll still remember this, you know, the people have personal problems, have the same personal problems tomorrow they had today after a loss and things like that. And then
He wasn't wrong.
Right. Well, it's true. And then like when he did the not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7 up on the stage, things like that. But there's nothing major. And you would think somebody with that kind of microscope and has every right to be arrogant as hell. And we haven't really.
He's super humble.
LeBron
really faithful.
By the way, he should not be an all-star this year. Kawhi Leonard's got better stats than him. Kawhi Leonard's played more games than him. The game is at Leonard's arena. And James got in over him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to say it's at both their arena.
Yeah, no, it's
Never
into
mind.
it now.
That's
Yeah, but anyway. But I understand why they put him in. And by the way, I think most people would rather watch LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard anyway. Just see him either do great or fail.
I'm fine with the All-Star game nod being like that.
Yeah, me too.
He's still clearly worth it. And now, like, he shouldn't be just on All-NBA.
Right.
If it's, like, that stuff has to be a little bit more like, what did you do this season? Not just like a career achievement.
Yeah.
But All-Star games are kind of supposed to be just for fun. And
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they voted in Magic Johnson when he wasn't even in the league.
That's fair.
Well,
that's fair.
So it's not like we're talking about the Hall of Fame
Magic
nod or
Johnson.
something. I mean,
what's he done?
Yeah. That was a career achievement.
Coming up next.
It's not Shadur Sanders.
Wow. Hold on now.
How dare you besmirch Shadur Sanders? The commission spoke. We'll react accordingly next. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're ready there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
Ms. Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
I slept in a lot of different rooms, different beds, but none of them really felt like mine. I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. And I never had much stuff because I always had to be ready to move. Why get things if you just have to let them go?
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a forever family and a permanent home of their own.
Now I have my own room with walls that tell my story. I love hanging out in here. I play dress up with my sisters and I sing and make videos. But the best part, knowing I'll always have a place to go and a family that loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Final hour of the program, which means hour number 2, by the way. Tito, Austin Ward, Bodie Wells with you. Roger Goodell spoke yesterday. Breaking news, it is Super Bowl week.
What?
Yes.
This week?
We haven't done much talk about it. I don't know, but no one's complained about it, though. I don't know if we should do more Super Bowl talk. There's so much Super Bowl talk going on everywhere else.
Like, we're not there.
We're not there. That's true. But anyway, Goodell said the league had nothing to do with the fact that Bill Belichick did not get voted into the Hall of Fame.
I'm not sure that they can totally be absolved of that.
He was asked that question, and Goodell said, "We are not involved in it. Bill Belichick's record goes without saying. Same with the Patriots and Robert Kraft, who is also a candidate. They are spectacular." That's from the Seinfeld episode. They have contributed so much to this game, and I believe they will be Hall of Famers. I never thought the NFL was involved. You did either?
I don't think. I mean, I know that they're not involved with the Hall of Fame vote.
Right.
That's not an NFL thing. That's the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't be putting their thumb on the scale of that. But I guess it's semantics. But from where I'm sitting, Tito, of course the NFL is involved. Of course they influenced it because they're the ones that handed out the punishments for Spygate. They're the ones that strangely investigated Deflategate. Mm-hmm. The punishments that they handed out are part of the body of work for Bill Belichick. So Roger Goodell can say that they did not influence the voting, but they did, based on the steps and the actions that they took against Bill Belichick, against Tom Brady, against Robert Kraft over the last 20 years, because I think that has to be part of the conversation here. And I know that now that there's these other explanations that people have come up with, well, there are voters that want the long time people that might fall off the ballot. They're going to use 3 of their 5 spots. The ballot process is broken. That's how this happened. There were people that were clearly, Bill Polian among them, saying he's got to pay some other penance because the NFL said that he broke these rules. Like, it may not be Roger Goodell specifically, but the NFL had some influence over the way this vote went down, even if they don't have any direct control over the ballots.
Among other things discussed that have come out yesterday, the NFL has decided, and it kind of is a weird reversal here. It's almost like a Hulk Hogan reversal of what they did. They decided they don't care if France likes the NFL because they've announced that on October 25th, the Saints will play the Browns in Paris. We are sending the Browns over there to earn. Now, granted, Browns have a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Sure do.
Well, they had two.
They had two. You're right. But yeah, so they're going to play in Paris. And I only semi-joke on that one, but
that was a full joke.
It is a full joke. You're right, yes. So that game's going to happen in Week 7 in the upcoming season. They've said that. And there's more talk about the somebody already said Browns and baguettes. Great. Somebody already said that their talk was, they want to go to an 18-game schedule. Goodell does. No, to 18 games and then a 2-game preseason, whatever. And their goal is still to have like an international game every single week.
Who's clamoring for that? Are the people in Europe, have they taken to these games like, you know what? We've got to have a chance to see the Jacksonville Jaguars over here.
Right.
We must have the Cleveland Browns come to Paris. Who's asking for it? Now, I know that the tickets must be getting sold, and the television ratings are, because it's the NFL, you give a new broadcast window, people are going to tune in, people are going to bet on it. So I assume it's working, but at what expense and how much demand actually is there for that? That's hard. I don't know the answer to that, but it must be there or they would stop trying, and they're continuing to put them in locations where you don't normally think of Paris being a major NFL market, but there must be some level of interest in it.
Wait until October 26th. Watch how much the market is the day after the Browns play there. But no, I've said this before in the year, but what bothers me, it's a Saints home game. Okay, so the Saints lose a home game to play in Paris when it's really a neutral site game. Now, the Saints get to control all the other things like they would a normal home game. There's certain things they can do, but it costs them a game at home. And throughout the season, what is every team going for in the NFL? Home field advantage. They want to have home field advantage in the season. That's based on your record.
Yeah.
And if I lose a home game and lose home field advantage by one game, that's going to tick me off that I'm not getting a bye or getting a bye through the playoffs because I lost some damn game in Germany in November. That's what's going to cost me because a neutral site game was supposed to be a home game. If home field is an advantage, don't take home games away from people.
It's unbalanced, and it's the same way that I feel about the Big Ten schedule and Tony Petitti needing to go to 10 games so that you have 5 home and 5 road conference games. Like, it doesn't make any sense to have these things out of whack. The NFL for the long time was just held up as this model. This is how you ensure the parity.
Right.
This is how you build the schedule to make it fair year in and year out, and here's how it's going to rotate with the divisions, and everything is going to be on the level and even. And these international games have skewed that, Tito. It is very out of character for the NFL. What's not out of character, though, is chasing as much money as humanly possible, which, again, that's the part that I don't understand. How much more can they possibly be making? It's expensive to have these games over there. It's expensive to fly these teams over. It's more, and it's not even just the sacrifice of the home game.
Right.
Both for the Saints and the Browns, it's the travel and what do you have to do before and after the game and jet lag and fatigue and all those other things. That becomes a competitive balance issue when you're returning over. And I know that they've been doing these for a number of years. They feel like they've got some of it figured out, but it doesn't solve the math.
I will say this, you can't do it every week because the last week unless they make some drastic changes to their calendar, because the last week of the regular season, as it stands now, is they wait until like 6 days before to announce what the Sunday night game is going to be. And you can't have a team scheduled to play out there and then say, like, you got to schedule it well in advance.
Yeah.
And you can't say, like, okay, guys, 6 days from now, you're playing in London. And then, by the way, then you have a playoff game. Like, you can't do that. So
you're going to be playing in London at 3 a.m.
The NFL can, but technically they should.
Right. And And it's it just doesn't make. I don't know. I'm with you. I'd like to see exactly what the financial impact is on it, because I can't believe it's the players would think it's worth it.
Well, and everything about building a European audience and expanding it is, I think, tied back to this premise that someday an NFL team is going to be based in London. And but why is that necessary?
Right.
What does that accomplish for anyone?
Yeah.
The NFL is never going to be more popular in London than the Premier League. And you can keep trying all you want, or whether that's putting them in Germany or Paris or Spain, wherever they're sending these games. I don't know how long you have to try before you realize that the NFL is not ever going to be as popular as it is in the United States of America. Like, that's just not going to happen. It is the most American sport we have, and there's plenty of money to be made here without chasing every loose euro or franc or peso that exists out there.
Now we're thinking all the ones he's got. You got any more in there?
No, I don't know.
That was it? That was the last of it?
Yeah, no, I think...
Kronk? Isn't Kronk?
Kronk? We got loonies out there.
So loonies, yeah.
Loonies and toonies.
You know, I started watching the NFL. When I did, it was Pete Rozelle was a commissioner. And it was a very, not that it's any less so, it was a very esteemed position, though. A position of importance, a position
got to protect the shield.
Class, a position of, like, it was professionalism. I'm not saying Goodell's not that. I'm not saying Tagliabue wasn't that. I'm saying that's what it was for me. And I heard something that Goodell said yesterday that I can't picture Pete Rozelle or Paul Tagliabue ever saying. He was asked about the halftime show. And if he thinks that there could be any political statements made during that or anything that shouldn't be said.
No.
And here's a quote.
Not in today's world.
Here's what it just sounds funny to picture Roger Goodell saying this. Bad Bunny is, and I think that was demonstrated last night, one of the great artists in the world.
Ooh.
And that's one of the reasons we chose him. He was not concerned, does not seem to be concerned that Bad Bunny, but hearing the NFL commissioner say, Bad Bunny, I think we're good.
Any relation to bugs?
Right, or Easter.
What a world we live in.
Yeah.
Also, Bad Bunny just made a political statement at the Grammys, and now he's got an even bigger platform available to him.
I know.
If Roger Goodell is not anticipating some sort of statement from Bad Bunny, he might want to pull his head out from wherever it's currently located, because that's absolutely going to happen.
Something's going to happen. Yes, something will happen there.
And it's like that's almost the whole point. Like, why would you have invited him on your airwaves in the first place if you didn't think that was going to happen?
Right. And so it's not going to I have a feeling it's not going to go exactly what Roger Goodell thinks it will.
You don't say.
Yeah, I know. Goodell also addressed the Rooney Rule because there were 10 head coaching hires in this most recent cycle, and none of them were people of color. And so he said he has to continue to make progress on diversity. He said, I think we've become more diverse league across every platform, including coaching. We still have more work to do. There's got to be more steps. We're reevaluating everything we're doing, including the accelerator program, including every aspect of our policies and our program to meet the challenges of today and tomorrow rather than yesterday. And now this accelerator program, I heard Albert Breer talking about this on a different show yesterday, but this accelerator program is something that they do to assist in getting more minority candidates ready and in front of people doing the hiring. And they did not hold it this past season after holding it for a few years before that. So they're looking to why that was. Breer had kind of hinted at that it was a political reason, which I don't want to get into that. But nonetheless, though,
why not, Tito?
I know, why not? You're right. Let's do it.
Well, see you guys later.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
you think Bad Bunny's going to make a statement? Watch this.
So, what the Rooney Rule? I know it requires you to interview a minority for the job.
Yeah,
requires you to. And I hate the fact that we have to have a requirement in there. But
it's right there in the name. It's a rule.
Right. It's a Rooney Rule. I hate the fact, though, that's the case. I hate the fact that's where we're at. Like, a team still wouldn't just hire the best candidate. Like, And that's why I feel like Eric Bieniemy got used in that by getting tossed around. I don't know how many times he interviewed, but some ridiculous
Every
number,
year.
and never got a job. It's like, hey, bring Bieniemy in. Why? Well, we need a new head coach. You like Bieniemy? Nope. But we got to get Bieniemy in here. Somebody get Bieniemy.
Why do you have to talk to him? Oh, it's a rule.
It's a rule, right? And they had no intention of hiring him. It wastes Bieniemy's time. You know what I mean? And it makes, and something like that makes Bieniemy look bad. It makes it look like that's all he's there for is to fulfill that Rooney Rule thing. And now instead of maybe if those guys weren't ever going to hire Bieniemy, them interviewing him and not offering the job makes it look worse for Bieniemy.
Yeah, and Roger Goodell said that every team that had an opening was Rooney Rule compliant in this offseason. They interviewed candidates. He said a lot of them had multiple minority candidates that they interviewed. So I don't feel like it was for lack of trying. And it's always been an admirable goal, I think, and the accelerator program was largely helping on that front. But it doesn't compel one or two of those 10 teams that they have to make one of those hires. I still think that the NFL teams are going to bring in the person and hire the person that they see as best fit to lead their organization. And we can argue about how successful they are on that front, because the reason that the coaching carousel spins at the rate it does is because they get it wrong a lot.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be able to force somebody or guarantee that any of those other candidates are going to get it right. You look at Buffalo and promoting Joe Brady. Is that going to work? I don't know. Would they have been better off with one of the minority candidates? I don't know the answer to that either.
Right.
Like, nobody does. But I'd like to think, and maybe that's naive, maybe it's stupid, that these owners that are investing billions of dollars in the franchise aren't just like flipping a coin about who they're hiring as a coach, that they're taking the interview process seriously, and then the person who makes the best impression or has the best plan gets the job. That's what you hope is happening. Obviously, you can't guarantee that that's going to work out.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I look at it and think this is almost worse than not having the rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes to show like that the NFL doesn't trust its owners or the decision makers to make the right decisions.
Well, I don't think they're wrong on that.
That's what I'm saying. I wish it wasn't like that, though.
But the ones that I think are the biggest frustration to people are, who you're going to promote when you fire somebody,
right?
Or who you're going to target.
Yeah.
And the Giants were obviously going to go after John Harbaugh. The Bills clearly thought that Joe Brady was the guy for them. Then when you're forcing those owners to check a box to comply with that rule, is that helping anyone? Eric Bieniemy, I think, is the prime example of that you used, and I agree with you. Like, if you're forcing one of those candidates, forcing an NFL team to go through an interview that they view as a charade, just because they don't want to forfeit draft picks or get fined, I don't know that that's beneficial to anybody. If you're having a true open search and you're saying, please consider every available candidate, I don't see that as a bad sign,
right?
Or a negative for the NFL. So it depends on the situation, the scenario. I agree with you. Like, I don't think it has been a problem that you're trying to help the owners and also help the coaches that are in your league. Like, it's just silly when it's done solely to check a box.
Coming up next, folks, the Jackets are hot. Aaron Portzline's hotter. We won't have him on video, though, but we'll talk to him next. Morning Juice.
Hey, everybody, it's Berm from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. There are a lot of reasons that we should be working to get healthier and happier in our lives, but one of the unexpected benefits of losing weight, my wife no longer elbows me in the ribs at 2 a.m. I didn't realize how bad the snoring had gotten until it's gotten better. And that's the kind of change I'd hoped to achieve when I lost 35 pounds with Awaken 180 weight loss. 35 pounds down in just 6 weeks and officially under 200 pounds for the first time in 25 years. That number still feels fake when I say it out loud, but it's real. And what's just as real is how good everything else feels. There are no joint flare-ups. I'm moving around a lot better and never feels like a chore. I'm aware of when things feel wrong, and I'm also aware when things feel right. Thanks to my Awaken 180 coach, Mandy, I've learned how to eat, how to adjust, and now I'm heading into maintenance with a plan. That's what Awaken 180 really does. It teaches you how to keep going once the weight is gone. Free support for life with the solution for weight loss. Go to awaken180weightloss.com.
Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Every business starts somewhere, selling a product out of the back of your car, or maybe in your garage doing the packing and shipping yourself. And every great team starts grinding in the preseason. But with hard work, smart plays, and the right coaching, you can make it all the way. Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on how they help local businesses go the distance.
At Riverside Bank of Dublin, our business lending team helps you take that next step. With equipment loans, real estate financing, and working capital, it helps you hit for power, not just for average.
Thanks, Travis, because in business, just like sports, the right support turns rookies into all-stars. It can mean the difference between what might have been and a championship team. We're Riverside Bank of Dublin, your winning team for business banking. Look for a new branch location at Bridge Park in 2026.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
No Bobby, Tito, Austin Ward, Bodie Wells. And now we head out to talk to Aaron Portzline. I said Brian Heating Cooling System fan guest hotline. Do I have to do that or not, though?
You know, I don't know.
I just did. So.
I got to be honest. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
You got a free one.
There we go. Freebie for those guys. Good morning, Porty. Thanks for getting up the sweat. You're already up. I know. I shouldn't say that. Thank you, though, for joining us this morning. The coaching change, is that what this is all about, this surge by the Jackets?
Well, I mean, you can draw a line right there, right? I mean, I think so much has changed that there were lots of players who wanted a new message, wanted a new way. What's crazy here is that, obviously their attitude has changed, their aggressiveness, like all of these sort of baseline aspects of the game have changed, but he really hasn't had, bonus I'm talking about, has not had the chance to really make the changes, significant changes to systems that he wants to change because they don't have any practice time this year. And that's going to change here. So they go on a long Olympic break here, but they're back, I want to say 8 or 9 days before they resume. Now, they're not going to skate every day, but he's going to get 5 or 6 at least really good practices, almost like training camp type practices, not in terms of, get their legs and lungs ready. There'll be some of that, but really just kind of making some changes to how he wants them to play in the neutral zone, things that can even enhance, in his mind, what you're seeing now.
Should he do that, Porty? I mean, it's working right now.
It's a great question. Well, why tinker with that? I think there's a saying to that effect. I think so. I mean, listen, this guy is one of those guys that players want to play for him. Just look at the results. And I think you're seeing, I think you make these kind of changes, and it gives guys even more of a sense of believing, because this is, it's going to be tailor-made to this team and how they're built too. But this team's really built to play a Rick Bowen style of hockey. So, Aaron
Portzline from Athletic joins us. Are there a couple players that have benefited the most from this coaching change?
I mean, listen, the guy that jumps to mind is Merzlikins, who, people are complaining about, some are on social media, how much he's playing, given how well Jet Reeves has played this year. Why is Merzlikins seeing so much time? I think Rick Bowness understands and is wise to. You have to have two goalies. Have to, if they're going to stay in this thing. They have 17 games in 31 days in March. Okay, so has one been dramatically better than the other? Yeah, Jeff Reeves has been. Just look at the numbers. Has been dramatically better than Elvis Merzlikins. That said, if you are going to say right now that this team only has one goalie, you might as well close up shop, because I don't think they're going to be able to make a change at goal, and they're going to need two with the way that this is going to be a rat race to the end of the season. So I think he's trying to instill confidence in Merzlikins. I don't think Merzlikins has looked great. He's been competitive as hell. They've won, which is good. But he jumps to mind. I think there are others. I think, Kent Johnson has seen more playing time, certainly under Bonus than Edison. I don't think he's been great with it here lately, but I love the fact that the guys who are up on their toes, physical, aggressive type players, seem to be more of that, and their games are now sort of their true selves. I'm thinking of Sillinger, Coyle, Olivier. That line's been really, really good for them.
Felt like, Porty, that, Saturday and the response late in that third period was sort of emblematic of this whole turnaround and maybe the change in belief. You wrote about this, I think, in your game story from the win over the Blues for the Athletic. Just like there was groans, everyone was, here we go again. It's another third period.
Sure.
Yeah, and then it didn't happen.
Right.
What was the response there on ice and then in the room afterwards to that particular sequence of events there for the Jackets?
Yeah. Well, it's fun. I could only imagine that Dean Emerson was sitting somewhere looking at that game going, for the love of God. Like how many times have we done this one? And I was the bad guy. It was my team. It was the way we played. And the Blues really schooled them for most of the third. I thought Jack Reeves was fantastic. What I like that I'm hearing from the group after each game, they're 9-1 in their last 10, 8-1 under Bonus. Almost every game they say, yep, some good things there, but we can get so much better. There's so many things that can be fixed. And I think that game was a great example of that. I think these things can be hard to rewire when you have habits that have formed over 40 games or 45 games or whatever it was. And they're in the process of rewiring. Having said that, listen, they have a winning record on the road, which I don't think they've had in 6 years. We spent last year talking about how bad they were in back-to-back games. They're over 500 on both the first game and the second game of the back-to-backs, where I think at this point last year they had not won the second half of a back-to-back. So there are lots of things about this club that suggest they're better than last year. See how the finish goes.
Aaron Portzline from Athletic joins us here talking Columbus Blue Jackets. He's been covering the team since day zero. Porty, I know that Panarin has been apparently made available. The Rangers are exploring options for him. Is there a realistic chance that he could pair back up with the Jackets, or do they even need that?
They do need it. I think they need a finisher. They absolutely need a finisher. Look at all the chances they have. Look at all the goals sometimes that they don't. I think, I don't want to rule anything out. I think the one thing that probably would dissuade the Bonus Waddell from making that move. And let's see how these next 7 games go. They've got 2 before the break. They've got 5 after. If this team blows through those 2, 6-0, leading into the game before the break, then who knows how aggressive he's willing to get. He may feel it too, but I think the one would dissuade them from that is that Panarin is an expiring player. So typically those guys, the top-level guys that require such an investment trade-wise, if you think you can win the Stanley Cup and you are a surefire in this thing, that's a move you consider. And people will say, well, he didn't like Columbus. And you'll hear that, especially if rumors pick up between the Blue Jackets and Panarin. I can tell you this, he did like Columbus. He didn't like it more than New York. He didn't want to stay here more than he wanted to be a Ranger. He wanted to be a Ranger. And he's kind of heartbroken, frankly, by the fact that the Rangers, which I don't fully understand, they love writing letters in New York, went public and said, yeah, we're not signing them. So get your bids in, boys. I think he's been hurt by that because I think he wanted to continue to be a Ranger. But I don't think he would rule out Columbus, certainly not as a city, as an organization. I think he wants to win a cup. And I'm not sure people as well as they're playing right now see the Blue Jackets as a cup contender. So that may be an impediment from his perspective.
Did Artemi just not realize how many garages were actually in Columbus until he left?
So weird, wasn't it? like that he latched on to that. I mean, who was the real estate agent here? Like, what are we doing? He lives in the Lebec Tower too, right?
Yeah,
like it's a pretty good living, I would think.
I can't afford it, so I think. But I do have a garage, and I do live in Columbus, so I know that they exist.
Don't show off. Don't show off.
You're a humble brag there, right? I know. Porty, how much, it feels to me it'd be such a huge difference. And I know it's just 2 games. But if they can somehow win these last 2 before the long break versus losing the last 2 before a break, especially losing one like the old way they used to lose a third period, I feel like it would be so, crushing is the wrong word, but so detrimental to the mood of the team going into the break.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to put a point total on it, but you want to see them play like they have been, right? And I don't think there's a reason that should stop. It's another back-to-back tonight, New Jersey, tomorrow at home against Chicago. I would think if they win tonight in Jersey, they would come home to a rather adoring crowd on Wednesday who have the same vibe that you have. For the longest, that was crazy. 4 days ago, you looked at the standings. They'd gone 6-1 under bonus, and they'd actually fallen further behind in the wild card and from third place in the Metro. How does that make sense? These last 2 wins have been dramatically different because the Islanders have lost a couple now. And so the Blue Jackets now, really what you're looking at is the Metro, and they're 4 points behind third place in the Metro. And that seems doable. Like you say, if they win the next 2 games, I think you're going to have a surge of emotions. Hockey's weird, especially when you're on the road. Hockey's weird. Play well, see where the chips fall. But yeah, 3 out of 4, I think, still get you where you want to be.
Porty, Tito mentioned, how long you've been covering the Jackets, your expertise in that area. Your latest at The Athletic is about the cannon. Was there anything about that famed delivery device of noise that you learned in reporting that you didn't already know?
Well, first let me say this, not to duck your question, but I'm a little angry with the copy desk because the whole section about Boomer had some double entendres.
Oh, no.
That the stuffies at the New York Times were like, oh, no. And there's no picture of Boomer, so the things that you allude to are right. I'm sure people outside Columbus are reading there going, what the hell is he talking about? Because there's none of the stuff that would lead you. I think you should be able to say male genitalia, but I'm different. Anyways.
Also, we can all recognize it when we see Boomer.
Especially from afar, which is the hilarious part. They did all these focus groups, and Boomer was in public before he was on the ice. And people standing next to Boomer were like, that's about as adorable as a cannon can be. And then people from afar were like, oh, Lord, what is that thing? And then it starts shooting, awkwardly T-shirts out of its head. And people are like, for the love of God. And I just remember the players the next day were absolutely ruthless, had a blast with it. And I think Boomer should come back again someday. In terms of what I learned about the size of the charge, and I'd never heard the story from Hitch before, Ken Hitchcock, the former coach, about them testing a half charge on the event level and having to check the foundation after it went off, almost blowing a guy off of the polisher who's cleaning the floors. So that was new. A lot of that stuff has been with us for a while. It's kind of fun, to put it all together and
Get you out on this one, Porty. By the way, instead of saying male genitalia, just say the more anatomically correct and accepted name, pee-pee. The Jackets, the last 2 years, the roller coaster of this team, from losing Johnny Hockey, then going on an incredible run last year, coming back optimistic this year, losing and firing a head coach, and now back on a streak. Have you ever had like a stretch like this where the emotion's been so up and down in such a 1 or 2 year stretch?
Well, I would say this: I would put the Gaudreau stuff, not to take it away from all of it, because it's a huge part of who they are. It's just such a guttural sadness, right? So nothing. There have been other tragedies, certainly Kivleniak, certainly Brittany Cecil, and those are what they are. They have had listen, when John Davidson and Jarmo Kekalainen took over in 2012-13, Jarmo gets hired in February, and he goes straight out on the road scouting. He's in Nathan McKinnon mode, the number 1 pick that year. Like, this was a lost cause here. They were like 5-17-1. And then, boom, they go like 19-3-2 the rest of the way or something ridiculous and damn near make the playoffs. And then the next year they do make the playoffs, and they're thinking, we thought we were going to rebuild. We're pretty good. And then 14-15 are awful. 15-16, awful. And they make some changes. They bring in John Tortorella. They make more changes, and then they're back on track again. It's crazy how years can go. Look where New Jersey is. New Jersey's below Columbus. Like, that's supposed to be a team that many thought could win the East. Florida's won the Cup 2 years in a row, and they're taking on water right now. Washington is struggling to get in. People thought Washington was done last year, and they were in. They won the President's Trophy in the East, or the best record in the East. Pittsburgh, I was one of the few that thought Pittsburgh would be good this year. Many thought they'd be awful. It's just so hard to say. But yeah, the Blue Jackets have had many, many years where you thought they'd be good, more like this, where you thought they'd be good and they weren't, than years where you thought they would struggle and be better than they were. So it's been topsy-turvy. Like, boys, the book's named already. Rarely good, never boring. The life and times of the Columbus Blue Jackets, it's kind of what they are, and they're trying to change their own history here with seasons like this. Just
curious, are you going to write a Blue Jackets book someday?
Who said that?
I know, like, Rabinowitz did a bunch of stuff on Ohio State. You see these writers that cover the teams for years, and they write one. It feels like you should be. I'm not trying to put more work on your plate, but I am. You should be writing a book on the Jackets.
Sure. And so here's the thing. Rabbi Rabinowitz has written about seasons, right?
Right.
Championship seasons.
100%. And it's Ohio State football. There's absolutely people will buy anything with freaking Scarlet and Gray in Columbus. And he wrote some tremendous books. He's got the seasons with great stories to tell. To me, the Blue Jackets are it's more of a history, all-encompassing right now. They win a cup, you get yourself a book. And last year there was talk that when they got close to the playoffs, I started speaking with publishers like, hey, if this goes somewhere, what are we doing? That was them asking more than me. So I don't think it's out of the question someday to write a book. But the question is there a market for it? I've got some unbelievable stories, as all sports writers do, all people who are fortunate enough to do what we do. But we'll see where it goes.
In advance, you got a wedding to pay for, right?
Oh, baby, yes. Yes. Don't get me started on that.
All right, thanks for the time.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Thanks for the time, buddy. We appreciate it. Go have fun tonight. We'll talk soon.
All the best, guys.
All right. Thanks so much. That was Aaron Portzline. He's the best. He is the absolute best.
Legend.
I loved working with him for the Columbus Dispatch. He's got a very great, dry sense of humor. He's a good dude. So we'll see what happens to the Jackets. We'll talk about that, but not with you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Maybe not about the Jackets. So I'm talking myself into a maze here.
I don't think we're going to do that. We'll talk about Ohio State.
Know. We might talk about Ohio State players that like the Jackets. How about that? Coming up next, we'll tell you guys Juice Morning Juice.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? in the best way possible by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Bobby played for the Dallas Cowboys. Tito wears assless chaps. I'm dead sexy. You're locked into Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Thank you so much, Aaron Portzline, for joining us. By the way, subscribe to The Athletic. I always say that, too. Subscribe to The Athletic, subscribe to The Athletic, subscribe to The Athletic. There, I said it 3 times.
That was the deal you made to get him on the show.
Always. I played fantasy football with him against him.
For him? What did he draft you for?
Since probably 2000. He was running the league back then. Probably before that, probably like 98. He was running the league, and it was like in our league dues, you had to include postage because he would mail out the results every week. So
wow.
You had to give him money for stamps. That's how long ago it was. Anyways.
So putting together the scores by hand?
Yeah, do it all by hand, then send it out. Yeah. This is a bit of a mega tease, I guess I can say it, Bodie, because if all goes well, tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, Mike Eruzione is going to join the show.
Oh, my.
Who do you play for, Mike?
Exactly. He called me back yesterday. I called him like a week and a half ago, and I was going to call him again yesterday, and then I look at my phone, it says, Eruzione, Michael. I'm like, oh, here it is.
There it is. Can you imagine if that happened on Bodie's personal cellular device?
Yes.
I think his brain would explode.
Yes. And so I'm a little bit worried about having him on because there are certain things when you find out as a child are not what you thought they were. It's like it changes your life.
You don't think it was actually a miracle?
No, I think it was a miracle. That's fair. That's fair. But with how much Bodie knows that movie front and back and sideways.
Yeah.
I really, and I told Bodie, I said, Bodie, why don't you ask a couple questions? Jump in there. I wanted to do it. I don't know if Cart might try to join us. We're not sure. Anyway, but I don't want Bodie to be disappointed after the interview. Like, hey, remember this one? Like the Chris Farley thing with McCarthy. Like, hey, you remember that one point in the movie when he said, "What team do you play for?"
Yeah.
And that was cool. And Ruzino goes, "Yeah, that never really happened." Then just watch Bodie's face sink. So like, I'm trying to be protective of that.
I don't
also
think that Bodie believes it's a documentary.
No, but I think he takes this as the gospel. I do believe he thinks that that's really what happened.
I think the thing is, though, is like, as far as I know, it's pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate, yeah.
Like, I watched the documentary that Netflix just released last night, and it's pretty in step with the movie.
It is.
Now,
yeah.
look, Disney's gonna, Hollywood's gonna go to some avenues to spice it up a little bit, but even the part where they were talking about his speech, he didn't do the full Kurt Russell there, but there were still pieces of it that it's like, yeah, he said this, and after we played like crap in one of the exhibition games, he said, you get on that goal line,
yes,
and we're going to do some Herbies.
Yes.
We're going to do some suicide. So I really don't think, don't get me wrong, I know it's not perfectly historically accurate, but I don't think it's a Rudy situation where I love Notre Dame, love the movie. Don't know how accurate
the
all
jersey
that
thing
is.
wasn't real. I don't think everybody like going there and put him down. Yeah.
And actually, I think like, as far as like how they treated walk-ons, they didn't treat him like he was the star quarterback. But I don't think it was like this, like, oh, he's a piece of crap, screw him.
Right.
I think it was like, hey man, good for you. Like, I also don't think they carried him off the field either. But yeah, with Miracle, everything I've ever read and heard is it's pretty historically accurate. So
just peek behind the curtain. We're going to record the interview today, and then we'll play it tomorrow at 7 a.m.
And then,
yes,
so a rapid,
the man of the hour,
a rapid decline
right.
in quality of content.
Look, I'm telling you, that's the best thing in the world is you get somebody more famous than you opening up in front of you. I think
that's the worst. It should be the other way around. Now, I don't want to be on at 7 a.m. I'd like the extra 10 minutes before I jump on with you guys. But
radio station Nebraska had me on. There was a time when they called the Columbus Dispatch and wanted, hey, do you have anybody like covers the NFL? And whoever took the call remembered that I did a lot of fantasy football stuff. And they equate that with covered the NFL.
Yeah, same thing.
Right. And so I get a call. She passes my number on to them. The radio station in Nebraska calls me and wants me on all year long, every week, doing NFL reporting. Okay.
Fake it till you make it.
The first time I did it, right before me, was Bill Bellamy on as a guest. So Bill Bellamy gets on as a guest, and it's me, and I'm like, this is awesome. Bill Bellamy opened up for me. The comedian opened up for me.
The rock star.
Right. Oh, that was pretty cool. And then, by the way, fast forward now to about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, I interviewed Bill Bellamy on my podcast for that movie that Maurice Hall did.
Oh,
Bellamy was in it. Yeah, so I shared that story with Bellamy. Thought it was pretty funny.
Because you both were wondering what you were doing on the radio in Nebraska.
He was thinking, man, who's this Tito guy? All right.
Guy knows his stuff.
Tell people what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
It's a Tuesday. The former regular guest on this show. Let's hear what Schleggs had to say.
Guys can't be walking around the hallways anymore naked, just like people were doing at the beginning of Zoom.
What does being naked have to do with spreading COVID?
I don't know. Probably get it anywhere.
I think you can get it clothed or not clothed.
I think so, yeah.
Mr. Anthony Schlegel. What has me juiced today, guys? Definitely that news that you just shared, Tito. That had me pretty fired up when I woke up from a deep nap yesterday.
You could tell you were tired. I thought I was talking to Schleggs when you called me. That's what it sounded like.
I crashed pretty hard. And I saw when I woke up, I had a missed call and a text from you. And the text that I might have, you might have some more work on your plate tomorrow because of me, which I was like, okay, I don't really know what that all
Bad
entails.
start.
But then once you told me over the phone what it was, I was like, oh, you could add 6 hours to my plate for that.
Don't tell me that. 6 hours of Jim Craig coming up on Thursday.
What else has me juiced, guys? I'll tell you what, that stupid groundhog. He's not a man of the people.
Can't be trusted.
Why can't he just lie? Yeah,
exactly.
Say, yeah, I never saw it.
Right.
Spring next week, boys. Here we go. Although I will say, speaking of,
who gave him so much power anyway?
Yes, he's a damn groundhog. His IQ's got to be about 15. What did have me juice though? Speaking of that,
how would we determine a groundhog's IQ? Take a test.
I'm just taking a shot
Ability
in the
to,
dark.
ability to lie or not.
I admittedly don't even know how you what the IQ scale is. Like, what's
Right.
a good or bad one? I'm
15
not
would
really
be pretty
sure,
bad,
but 15,
yeah.
I'm guessing, is pretty low.
Yeah, right.
And it's a groundhog, so I
Yeah.
figured that was
That's fair.
reasonable take. Next Wednesday, high of 44.
Oh,
love seeing the force just cracking up there as
Wow.
we maybe crawl our way out of winter into spring. That has me juiced. What else has me juiced? Oh yeah, that's right. So I was in here this morning. No Jackets game last night. No men's or women's basketball. No Cavs. So digging deep for sound. I'm like, oh, it turns out yesterday was Super Bowl 60 Media Day. That's perfect. Cut that up after ESPN kind of uploads the audio there on their website. And I saw this, heard this. Mike Vrabel was asked a question. I have to imagine it was sarcastic. I only have the 8-second clip here, but let's take a listen at this. Austin, you're the reporter for us here.
Yeah.
You tell me how good you would rate this question. Call it maybe not the IQ scale, but scale 1 to 10.
Is this a must-win game?
A must-win? Yeah, I think every time we go out, it is a must-win game. I mean, it's kind of the attitude that I've always taken in the National Football League.
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl.
I appreciate Mike not just dressing that guy down. And like I said, I have to imagine maybe there was like a little bit of tongue-in-cheek sarcasm there, but to ask the New England Patriots head coach if Sunday's contest, Super Bowl 60 is a must-win.
It's a like to win.
And also,
I think it's fair to say, yes, it is.
Also, out of everyone that I have ever covered in my career, and I'm going to include Urban Meyer in this.
Okay.
The one person I wouldn't ask a question that I couldn't really stand behind is Mike Vrabel. Because he will absolutely dress you down if you're not ready and if you're not prepared for the interview. So kudos to that person for surviving, because that's a softer Mike Vrabel than I've ever known.
Maybe in the scrum, there's so many people at Media Day. He just had the chance to bolt after asking it. But yeah, when I cut that up this morning, because in the ESPN website, when you pull it up, it'll say Mike Vrabel, Patriots head coach, and then it'll put a little snippet as to what the answer is. And it said he's asked if this is a must-win game. I was like, what is this?
Right.
And so I cut that up and threw it in the data if anybody wants to play that today. But yeah,
big headline. Mike Vrabel says Super Bowl is a must-win game for the
You
Patriots.
can print that in the Boston Globe for sure. So that all has me juiced. A Ward, what has you juiced today, sir?
Well, finally, hallelujah. Liberty returned to school yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Dublin schools were out all last week.
That's not you don't mean liberty like the idea of it. You mean
my daughter.
Gotcha. You always
Liberty.
confused me. I didn't know if there was something going on in your school system.
I
Go
will
ahead.
have to be more. I'll start
Libby?
saying her full name.
Okay.
Liberty Jane returned to school yesterday.
Justice.
Yeah, we didn't take it quite that far.
Go ahead.
But
Sorry.
it was last week at this time, she was just fired up. More snow. We're not going back. 'Cause
Ever.
in her mind, it was like vacation. Well, what are we going to do today, Mom? Where are we going to go today, Dad? Well, we're not going anywhere. It's not spring break. It's not Christmas break. We're not taking off to Disney World.
Right.
Why not?
Because the snow out there is why you're in this house. And your mother and I both can work from home. We're lucky that we have the ability to do that. So we actually do have to work. They did not cancel work for us. And so by the end of the week, she was actually getting pretty bored, wanting to go back to school, wanting to see her friends, wanting to see her teacher, which I was encouraged by that. And then, so she goes back. How was your first day back to school? Oh, Dad, I learned a new word today.
Uh-oh.
Vandalism.
Oh.
Vandalism.
All the 3rd and 4th grade girls got called into the Commons with the principal. There had been someone wrote, I love Taylor, and 2 pictures of butts on the girls' bathroom wall. And so where it is, so it's got to be a 3rd or 4th grade girl. It's in the girls' bathroom.
Right.
And my first question is what? How do you, first I said, is there a boy named Taylor, or do we think that this was about Taylor Swift?
Tay-Tay.
How do we know that a boy didn't get in there to do that? Why is the assumption automatically on the girls? Someone could have gone into.
Right.
They're obviously not worried about rules because they're destroying property.
Right.
Don't know if they care about what the label is on the bathroom door. Why are we limiting it to just the 3rd and 4th graders or to just the girls? But she was like, so the principal was really worked up and It's like she said they were going to. She didn't have time to be looking into this stuff, and someone needed to come forward, and the punishment would be less if they admitted.
Did you order the code red?
Right.
By the end, because Liberty was so enamored by this turn of events, and she's like, I don't know any of my friends that would do this. Like, who would do this? None of my friends would. And the principal said that they would, have to bring in like special investigators to figure out who did it. And by the end of the night, she's like, I guess like the FBI will be coming in, and I don't know what they're gonna do to, like, are they gonna interview us all? And I'm like, no, well, they're probably gonna take your samples of your handwriting to see if it matches up.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
The FBI leaves no stone unturned. And
They're gonna have you walk out on the ice like Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
And she was like, it was all she could think about. She's like, and my wife said, sweetie, we know you didn't do this, and you don't have to figure it out for anyone else. Right. You're not going to be in charge of solving the crime. She's like, it was all that she could think about.
Did you teach her
start
about
of the career path?
Did you teach her about snitching? Like, if you know who did it.
I said, if you can find out, find out what the reward money is. Yes. If the FBI is involved, like, maybe.
I can't wait till she comes home today. Dad, learn some new words today. What are they? Consequences and repercussions. I learned those words today.
But
blackmail.
It was not the story that I was anticipating for day one back at school.
It's the V word. What?
Yeah.
Vandalism.
No.
Vandalism. That's the one. Yes, that's the one. It's a good thing you didn't make her middle name like Sucks. Liberty Sucks. Ward.
Come on.
No, I'm saying it's a good thing you didn't. I'm saying I'm praising you for that.
That wasn't in the selection.
I didn't think it would be in there. I remember the 4th grade, somebody killed the guinea pig. The class guinea pig, yeah. And me and my buddies didn't do it. It's not where we're going with this. Formed something called the Doomsday Detective Agency, and the 4 of us tried to solve it.
Is that like Dwight Schrute's Alliance?
Yes, that's kind of what it was, yes.
Did you get to the bottom of it?
Never did. Look, missing persons? How about guinea pig killers still held
dead
unsolved
guinea
crimes?
pigs.
Yes, back from 1979 or whatever it was. Yes, it's a very cold case. I don't even know where the body is. But anyway, yeah, so that was our we did that. We decided to do that. And yes, we failed miserably.
Bummer.
Another peek into why Tito is Tito. Doomsday Detective Agency.
I can't believe that didn't work.
I know. You'd think it would have taken
Could have been
off.
the next Hardy Boys series.
Exactly. Could have been that. Absolutely could have been that. Folks, thanks for tuning in.
What's got you juiced?
That does. Just hearing that story. I don't know. It's life. Just life in general.
Oh, good.
Austin Ward, thank you for filling in today. We appreciate that. You're back on here tomorrow morning very handsomely at 7... I don't know, 23. We'll call it that.
Look just like this, a hoodie and a
Probably will. That's absolutely correct. Yes. And also Mike Ruzione joins us tomorrow. Portzline